Hello, it's Phillip Taylor from Richmond Green Chambers. I'm talking about an interesting book today. It's Arnold's Law of Marine Insurance and Average. You can see there a picture of it. It's a red book. It's quite thick. The title which the press people have given it, from Thompson, Sweet and Maxwell, they called it Your Guiding Beacon on the Law of Marine Insurance. It's a new 17th edition, so as you gather it's been around a while. I've given it a slightly different title in the reviews that I've placed on the internet, and I've called it 160 Years of Legal Insurance Deliberation Defined, because this is an old book which has been rewritten where appropriate to take account of new views and so forth. The editor, the main editor, is Jonathan Gilman, and he and a large number of colleagues have set out to produce a very current work. You can obviously see all the details. They're listed certainly in the flyer and in the book itself, but Gilman and Professor Merkin are the two main players in this. But what they've done is they've returned to the year of revolutions, that's 1848, when Joseph Arnould began his authoritative interpretation of the law and practice of marine insurance at a rather different time in our lives. And they've given us our new guiding beacon for British shipping laws in the 21st century, and that really falls in line with the approach which the publishers have taken. It's been a much anticipated new edition, and it's a complete authoritative and interpretative work on the law and practice of marine insurance, because it stands out as the outstanding and only main statement of specialist law, which is the common law in its area, and that's very much in keeping with all of the titles which Sweet and Maxwell produce. We could call it a number of things. I actually called it a beacon of unrivaled expertise, because that's the sort of imagery that's being conjured up. But there's an admirable detailed coverage throughout, with a plethora of new material for all, and there are 5 new chapters covering the following: the jurisdiction and applicable law in particular areas, pre-contract duties of utmost good faith for general principles, and then post-contractual duties on fraudulent claims, double insurance and contribution, and reinsurance, which of course is an important market. What the authors have done is they've retained and shed light as a shrewd commentary with seasoned advice on how the law is actually interpreted today in practical situations, and they'll offer a whole range of interesting areas, such as it offers a complete and authoritative interpretation of the law and practice surrounding marine insurance itself. It also includes in-depth analytical commentaries and an analysis of the principles of marine insurance. And there are a vast range of other areas which they cover, which you can look at in the book. The work's been written, as I say, by a high-profile team of marine law specialists from Essex Court Chambers, and they've been led by Julian Cook from 20 Essex Street, and, as I mentioned, Professor Merkin, Rob Merkin. Now, of particular use is the incorporation of a vast sea of new case law and an in-depth analytical commentary and analysis on the principles of marine insurance as they stand today. But what you have got, and what I liked, is that the seasoned expertise on contracts and policies which cover their formation and contents have kept very much to the original tone of the earlier editions, and it gives, in addition, a detailed examination of the matters which affect the validity of cover. They cover discussion also of institute clauses which are currently being used, and also an in-depth analysis of the various marine and war perils, which are quite appropriate. Today, Arnold has 31 chapters in about 1800 pages, so it's quite a thick book. It's delicate paper too, so beware of tears when you're opening it. And there are 4 appendices plus a first-class index, which I thought was very good, which saves, of course, a great deal of time when you get to use it. Because what Gilman and Merkin and Co. have done is they've sought to maintain a balance with this new edition, preserving the essential character and style of what I call this classic treatise, because it's been handed down as the common law tradition, which is of course what it requires, and it's been built upon over the years, and also it's been updated so the text is modern to take account of new developments and the making of more accessibility to the subject itself, which is not something that a lot of people have a lot of knowledge of. I think they've done very well here in what's a very technical and concentrated area. They've maintained the authoritative text and the standard throughout, with the least tampering that they felt was necessary, even though substantial changes have had to be made again this time round for the 17th edition. With frank and candid understatement, the edition is now the work of a team of editors to cover substantial new cases, and there are 781 of them included here, with the pruning of apparently obsolete or redundant material, which is always going to be a difficult task because you never quite know what to take out because it may become relevant again. That's always the beauty of the common law, of course. The 2 senior editors pay tribute to the ability, care and valuable new insights of the team they've assembled, and they've made the key materials accessible in 1 volume, thankfully. So over 100 years ago now, we had the Marine Insurance Act in 1906, and that codified, of course, the old cases. We now have so many substantial and varied formal types of rules of such a different character that we have to take account of them. And of course, Arnould has kept the historic perspective nicely, which I would have expected, and it makes this work reasonably easy to read. It's the only full statement, of course, so you know where to look in a sort of one-stop shop. But it works, although I think Gilman and Merkin have no illusions that the next edition may probably again be very different to this one. But as I say, it's the beacon for maritime insurance law, and it's a great contribution. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.